So what is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So a new trailer for Dragon Ball Daima just dropped, and boy oh boy oh boy do we have a lot to talk about. So let's just get straight into it. I'm extremely excited to talk about this. I've had all kinds of revelations and ideas as to what may be going on. I think you'll enjoy what I have to say, so let's just jump straight into it. Now, the opening for the trailer, the first thing we see happening or hear happening is some mystery character reciting a spell. Now, I want you to keep in mind that this series is called Dragon Ball Daima due to a play on the idea of demon magic. Daima, as a term, refers to the idea of demon magic. And I think that is very, very, very important to keep in mind here. And I think that the title is going to become way more significant as we learn more and more about the series. So we know that this series takes place, thanks to Geekdom 101, in the time gap between the Buu Saga and Battle of Gods. Also, we know all the mini characters are only mini characters as a side effect of the curse, and that's the reason they kind of look like their adult selves despite being kids. It's not like time has been rewound, necessarily. They've all just been cursed to essentially be children again, so they all look like a miniature version of their adult selves for that reason. Now, something I haven't seen a lot of people talk about is this focus on Goku defeating Kid Buu, this focus on this scene from the end of Z. It's not done on accident. It's definitely something that they are focusing on purpose, because guess what Goku did? He purified Majin Buu. And the idea of purifying and mortal development and things of that nature, I think, are going to be extremely, extremely important to Dragon Ball Daima as a series. Just to explain why I think that's going to be such a focus in Dragon Ball Daima, I really want you to just take a few minutes to look at where Akira Toriyama's head was at prior to his death in terms of like how he was writing his stories and the information that he was trying to portray. So the Granola arc essentially was about Bardock, as a result of developing a kinder and gentler nature and his pride as a Saiyan, making a wish that essentially put Goku on the right path to be raised by someone so that he would use the Dragon Balls correctly every time he made a wish, the same way that Bardock did during the Granola arc. That's the reason that Minaito and the idea of Namekian law within the context of the Dragon Balls is highlighted and pushed and talked about so much in the Granola arc, because that essentially shows you where Akira Toriyama's head is at, right? He's thinking very, very heavily about Namekian lore, how the Dragon Balls themselves function, what makes Goku special as a character in conjunction with the Dragon Balls, and Bardock is sort of an example of that in the same way Goku used to be in the original Dragon Ball for that reason. And Granola and a number of other characters are being used as an example of what not to do, and the reason that the impact that Grandpa Gohan had on Goku was so important. Same thing with Raditz. So that kind of shows you like where Akira Toriyama's head was at. He was really trying to highlight the effect that Grandpa Gohan had on Goku through Minaito and Granola. He also punishes Granola the entire arc until the very end, where Granola develops to be something somewhat like Goku. And then also you've got Dragon Ball Superhero, where Piccolo himself becomes the ideal Namekian in terms of what the Namekians are looking for in regards to the ritual that the Namekians have to go through on Namek. Essentially looking for a pure-hearted Namek is the entire point of the ritual on planet Namek. Basically a vetting process to see who is worthy of using the Dragon Balls. And in that case, whoever is worthy of using the Dragon Balls would be the Namekian equivalent of Goku, right? Goku coming to Namek as though he was the Namekian warrior that the Namekians had been looking for is a testament to how Goku developed on Earth and why it was so important that Goku was raised by Grandpa Gohan, and so important that he was raised on Earth, because Earth is what made him into the ideal mortal in the eyes of the Nameks. And Kami even talks about this in the original Dragon Ball whenever Goku discovers him and speaks with him for the first time. Kami himself essentially gives Goku the stamp of approval, and Kami is instinctually and inherently going by the laws that the Namekians themselves use to determine what kind of hero they think is worthy of using the Dragon Balls. So with all that in mind, it's very, very clear the narrative that Akira Toriyama is trying to craft here and where his head is at, and I think that that is going to feed into what Dragon Ball Daima is. Now, this small scene in the trailer may be the most important and revealing scene in the entire trailer. And I'll tell you why. This character, who we can barely see, in my opinion, is going to be an anti-kami, okay? And what I mean by that is, essentially, if you look back at the hierarchy of gods who develop mortals, the mortal universe, not the demon realm, in the mortal universe, Kami was a part of that hierarchy, right? He also helped develop mortals. Now, this is something that a lot of people haven't thought about, but I find it very, very, very interesting. It may be the case that the Makaioshin, and the Namekians have a greater connection than we all previously thought. And what I mean by that is, it's very, very likely that the magic that the Namekians use, the demon magic that the Namekians use, is the result of learning said magic from the Makai and the Makaioshin. Now, I know that's a wild idea, that's a wild thought, that's a wild theory, but if you kind of look at what's being shown here with this secret Namekian character that they're not really focusing on too much, it does seem like it may be possible that the Makai and the Makaioshin are trying to craft a very, very similar system to the mortal universe in terms of having a kami. They already have the evil equivalent of the Kaioshin. They already have a ruler. So essentially, they're trying to craft this system that the mortal universe uses to develop said mortals in the universe. Now, I think this is an extremely interesting idea, and I think it may actually be the pivotal point, the most important aspect of Dragon Ball Daima as a series, because it has been confirmed, again, thanks to Geekdom 101, that there is a new set of Dragon Balls in Dragon Ball Daima. Now, if you remember what I said about Goku being the ideal Dragon Ball user, and if you think about the effect that Goku has on the universe every time he uses the Dragon Balls, I think you can start to get an idea of what the ultimate end goal is here. And what I mean by that is, okay, so I want you to think about this very carefully, okay? The ideal Dragon Ball user is someone who can make a wish with a pure heart and without selfish intentions. That's the reason that Minato is such a stickler when it comes to the idea of making wishes with selfish intentions. Now, Goku is a mortal who has done this countless times, and as a result has perpetuated the mortal level of Universe 7 higher and higher and higher. Now, in the TOP, it was not Goku who did this, it was 17. And 17 literally raised the mortal level as a result of using the Dragon Balls with a pure heart due to the influence of Goku. So, this is what I think's going on. I think what's going to happen is, and this is just a working theory, this is just, a possible prediction. Don't take this too seriously. But it's very, very likely that by the end of Dragon Ball Daima, either Goku or Glorio, after being affected by Goku, will end up using the Dragon Balls at the end of the arc, and as a result will perpetuate the demon realm to new heights and actually raise the mortal level of the demon realm itself. They'll have a new ruler, the mortals will be of higher caliber, and the wish will have that effect on the series yet again. Now, in terms of the villain's intentions, we do get our first look at the Makaioshin, our first really good look at the Makaioshin. We also get our first good look at this mystery character who very clearly is someone who also uses magic. So here's what I'm thinking. Now, if you've watched my previous videos, you know that I have theorized that Buu was essentially the destroyer equivalent to the Makaioshin. They essentially created Buu in order to maintain balance for themselves as the demon realm. So if you look at it this way, most of what the demon realm does is just underhanded tactics to overthrow the mortal realm and in some sense try to attain a sense of balance between the demon realm and the mortal realm, because Toriyama has even talked about this himself, how the mortal realm is more powerful and how they have made more progress than the demon realm, and they are sort of in a contest to develop mortals. It would make perfect sense that they are trying to use magic to raise their mortal level in the same way that the mortal universe has accomplished countless times in the past. In that sense, it may be likely that the Makaioshin isn't actually that bad of a guy. He just wants to develop evil mortals. This may all be a secret conspiracy to take down the new leader of the demon realm, and they are likely going to do that through this dethroning of the old demon realm and pushing this new kingdom, which has greater potential, to new heights. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.